Hello my beautiful little unicorns and welcome back to my channel. If this is the first time that I've been given the pleasure to welcome you onto my channel, I'm Vanessa Samina and welcome to the fam. So you guys, today's reading is a really interesting one. I have another singles reading for you guys and it is all about whether they are ready for a committed relationship. So if you're currently seeing somebody or you have kind of like a love interest situation going on, but you're not sure whether they're even ready to be committed and whether they're even ready to settle down, this is the reading for you. And you guys, I just want to put it out there that this reading is meant to support as well as encourage you, maybe even inspire you to take action. But at the end of the day, how you want to handle your love life and your romantic situations is completely and 100% up to you. So regarding the four groups, we have the black Tourmaline, we have the Orchid Calcite, we have the Howlite, as well as the blue Quartz. So if you feel like you need a minute to meditate on the four groups, on the four different minerals, then feel free to pause the video right here in order to do so. And as usual, all the timestamps can be found down below in the description box, so you can click your corresponding timestamp and fast forward to your reading. And as usual, because there are always so many new unicorns joining the fam, I wanted to just let you know that your reading may be a mixture between 2, maybe 3, or even all groups. Depending on how much guidance that you feel like you need, tune into that many groups. Do not feel like you need to limit yourself to just one reading only. There is no shame in the multiple groups game. So you guys know that I'm aesthetically a bit more of a minimalist type person. So I have changed up my setup a little bit. So you guys let me know down in the comment section whether you like it or whether you prefer my old setup that is just the cards. And also for everybody who has been wanting me to choose real crystals, it took a little bit of time for me to gather lots of different crystals that I really vibed with and really liked, but the time has finally come, you guys. I'm going to be using a lot more real minerals and stones because I'm now sort of happy with my collections of stones to be using on your readings. A little update for you guys there. So you guys, now we are going to be moving into the readings and I'm going to be starting off with the first group, which corresponds to the black Tourmaline. Hello group number 1 and welcome to your reading. So you chose the black Tourmaline. So group number 1, first and foremost, you may have chosen this stone because of its physical appearance. So let's take a closer look. I mean, you may be the all black everything kind of person. This may be a stone that just physically really resonated with you. But another reason why you may have felt drawn to this mineral could in fact be, the fact that it's a very protective stone. It protects you against EMF radiation. It is a stone that is known to keep any sort of negative vibrations and negative energy far away from you. And another thing that it is known to do is help you to ground yourself and just feel grounded. But let's move further into your reading to figure out exactly what is going on with them and exactly whether they are ready for a commitment or not. Okay, so group number 1, let's move straight into your reading. So in your reading, we have you're ready, we have the Emperor, okay, don't come for me in the comment section. We have the 3 of Wands, we have the 5 of Swords, we have the 9 of Wands, we have It's Up to You, your imaginary friend, the Fairy Ring, Peace, Brave Flight, as well as the Artemis of the Forest. So I'm going to move straight into your reading about whether they are ready for a committed relationship and whether that is something that they see happening shortly. So one thing that I see in the Emperor is the fact that this person that you're inquiring about has a plan for their life and they like to sort of have everything laid out that they wish to accomplish. So whether or not there's a relationship, a commitment in there very soon, that is still to be found out within your reading. But what is very clear is the fact that they see the world as their oyster. They're somebody who has a lot of dreams and aspirations for themselves. They have a lot of achievements that they would like to go after and they would like to succeed in. And one thing that I see is that, they're going to fight for it. They're the kind of person who has no problems with commitment when it comes to their work, when it comes to the things that they're passionate about and the things that they want to accomplish. And they're going to sort of work themselves down to the bone. They're the kind of person who is not going to let anybody come between them and their personal goals and achievements. So if you're somebody who likes or needs a lot of attention and feels like they truly need somebody who reassures them often of their feelings, as well as, you know, being there for them, this person might be a difficult one to deal with. But moving further into your reading, one thing that I see is that this person has been through a lot, which may make it difficult for them to want to commit. One thing that I see is that they're always a little bit suspicious about what people's true intentions are. So maybe there's somebody who is already pretty successful or who has a lot more to their name than shows on the surface, but they always feel like, oh my God, is this person just after me for my looks, my wealth, my success? Whatever social status it is that this person has, they're a little bit suspicious, and it makes it hard for them to want to commit, and it makes it hard for them to want to give up a little bit of that control, because in the Emperor, it's very clear that there's somebody who is authoritative, who is maybe older than you and wiser, and likes to be in control of situations. This person likes to know what's up and doesn't like to give power completely into other people's hands, so to say. But I want you to know that independence can still be retained even in a relationship, and that at the end of the day, it's really up to you to make this work. It's really up to you to make this person feel like, okay, she or he is worth a commitment. Because one thing that I see is that, you know, they're ready. That is very clear. They would be ready for commitment, but the thing is, who are they ready to be committed with? So as I said, they're very freedom loving, and they're the kind of person who likes to be in control, and maybe even a little bit like super authoritative at times. And what you need to do, the qualities that they need out of you in order to be able to give you commitment specifically, is to allow them to be independent and free, and to trust. That is one thing that is really big for them. That is one thing that they do not want to be without. And in Peace, Brave Flight, I see that, you know, fear is something that has stopped them often from being committed. Fear is something that has often gotten in the way between them and actually taking that next step to being in an exclusive and committed relationship where it's just them and one other person. Okay, commitment is not 3 people, not 4 people, 2 people. That is one thing that I see, is that it will take a lot out of them. They will have to face their fears in order to ensure that they can actually give you that commitment. They will have to face their fears to overcome what has gone on in the past in their life, to overcome all of the sort of hurt and the trauma that is here. And I sort of feel like this person is one who has been hurt really deeply. So maybe they've been cheated on in the past, maybe they've been lied to, and it's something that can resurface every now and then. That is what I see in the imaginary friend. So the imaginary friend with the person that you're inquiring about is a faux friend. The imaginary friend is one that shows up whenever there's a situation where there could be commitment and sort of self-sabotages, if you will. So this person probably has like a little voice or something in their head that turns on as soon as they feel like commitment is close. So there may be almost a little bit of commitment phobia here. There may be more than even fear, is what I'm trying to say. And that is one thing where they need to learn to loosen up. That is one thing where they would benefit from new skills. So they can definitely, you know, learn very easily. You know that saying that you can't teach an old dog new tricks? Well, this old dog is very much ready to learn all the new tricks that you would like it to, but you have to do it in a very like gentle way where they don't feel like their independence and their freedom has been taken away from them. So know that they can learn new skills and make rapid improvements when it comes to actually being the person who is able to stay committed and be happy in a committed relationship. But what is really essential here is, as I already mentioned, to allow them their freedom and to not come in between them and their work, the things that they're passionate about, so on and so forth. So group number 1, your reading is really more of an open answer. Your reading really depends more on you rather than that person, because yes, that person is ready to be committed and they have this certain level of maturity, but it just really depends who it is, okay? They're not going to settle for anybody who makes them feel in the slightest way uncomfortable or like they're taking too big of a chunk of their personal control over their life. So group number 1, I truly hope that this reading was insightful and helpful. I hope it inspired new knowledge and new thought processes about your situation and this person, and I will see you in my next reading. Hello group number 2 and welcome to your reading. So you chose the Orchid Calcite. So group number 2, first and foremost, let's look at this gorgeous mineral. So the reason why you may have chosen this stone may be because of its physical appearance. I mean, just look at it. It is just so gorgeous. But another reason why you may have felt drawn to the stone may be because you need sort of a freshen up of your mind, your body, and your soul. That is what this stone is said to help with, as well as to sort of ease tension and encourage you to take leaps of faith, encourage you to do things that you would usually be fearful to do. So that may be why you've chosen this stone in this particular situation and reading. But let's move further into your reading to figure out exactly what is going on in their minds and exactly whether they're able to commit to you or not. Okay, so group number 2, within your reading, we have a peaceful resolution. We have the Ace of Cups, we have Death, we have the Five of Pentacles, the Empress, we have Weight, Mermaid in a Koi Pond, Once Upon a Midnight Dreary, we have the Mermaid and the Turtle, as well as Snow White and her animal friends. So one thing that I see in your reading in correlation to the cups, as well as, the 2 mermaids showing up, is that I see very emotional energy. Maybe they are of a water sign, maybe you're of a water sign. Either way, the situation is kind of emotionally charged, and whether they're ready to commit and be in a relationship has everything to do with whether they allow, the Ace of Cups to prevail. So the Ace of Cups is giving a new situation a chance, a new emotional connection a chance, but one has to allow this chance to happen and allow this chance to even be able to exist in order for it to be sort of made real, if you know what I mean. If they do not allow themselves to begin a new emotional connection, then obviously it will be difficult to have a committed relationship happen. Because one thing that I see about the person that you're inquiring about is the fact that in the Five of Pentacles, they're kind of worried about things in the earthly realms right now, and what goes on romantically in their relationships may not be their first priority. I see that they may be afraid to be taken advantage of. They may be afraid when it comes to their health or somebody's health who is very close to them. So that is something that they're right now struggling with. That is something that is preoccupying quite a big and large amount of their time and their headspace. But in Death, I see that is something that is going to change. In Death, I see sort of like leaving that behind and moving on to these new beginnings that we have in the Ace of Cups. So there is a good chance that they're going to give a commitment and committed relationship an honest chance. They're not necessarily the type who is going to hold out on that, but emotionally, physically, they have a lot of things that they're dealing with right now. They have a lot of hardships that they're going through, and that may be exactly why Weight has showed up in your reading. So it may not be the right time right now for them to be in a committed relationship. It may not be the perfect timing for them to take this further step, because what I see in the Empress is that they're definitely somebody who is family oriented. They're definitely somebody who wants that family bond, wants to truly form that sort of traditional sense of being together, that traditional relationship, but they need a peaceful resolution right now. They need something to sort of end. That is what I see in Death. They need something to come to a standstill or to be over, at least for now, in order to allow a new emotional connection in. So group number 2, with your person, what I see is more that they're battling with themselves and something that they're going through, and that may be stopping them from wanting to get into any sort of emotional bond. So in Snow White and her animal friends, I see that you do inspire trust and confidence in them. I see that this doesn't have to do with you if you feel like they're not ready to commit, because you give them sort of like an emotional crutch. You sort of give them support, but support is maybe not all that is needed. They may need time to be alone. They may need time to process things by themselves, as well as to, you know, just figure out what is going on with them and how they want to move forward when it comes to their relationships. In the mermaid and the turtle, one thing that I see about them wanting to commit is that they look up to people from their surroundings. They look up to people who have been together for a very long time, and they actually long to be with somebody who they can have that connection with and just sort of that emotional support when things get tough. So I see that this situation that they're going through with maybe their family member or themselves and their health, that has really shook them and made them sort of sad and made them almost a little bit insecure. I see that this has taught them that they actually do want that committed relationship. Once they've gotten over this situation and once they've dealt with it, they definitely want to be with somebody where there is trust, where there is commitment, where they know that they can always rely on that person. But as I said, it is not the right time right now. There needs to be a little bit of waiting, a little bit of, you know, work that they need to do on themselves. So don't lose confidence in this person. Don't feel like it's never going to happen. Just know that they have things that they need to sort out. And in Once Upon a Midnight Dreary, I see that what can really help them speed up this process and what can help them get over this situation that is causing such emotional friction and dissatisfaction is to let their energy out in sort of creativity, in anything that challenges them creatively, anything that allows them to express themselves and that puts them in a flow state where they're only thinking about what they're doing right now rather than worrying about all of the things that's going on in their life, all of the things that are making them sort of uncomfortable and anxious and maybe even a little depressed. So last but not least, in the mermaid in a koi pond, see that individuality and rediscovering this is so essential and so important right now in this situation. I feel like you two both still need to take time to figure out who you are individually and to sort of, you know, become the dragon, if you will. So I want you to take time to truly figure out who you are at your core, to strengthen that muscle, to strengthen that part of yourself during this time where there has to be a little bit of waiting and there has to be a little bit of time taken to deal with other situations that are partly out of your control and partly out of this person's control. So group number 2, do not give up hope. Know that the time is maybe not right this very second, but they have a lot of things that they're going through before they want to be committed and before they want to express that commitment with somebody. But it can be accelerated by allowing them to be creative, by allowing them to express themselves, and just being there when they need you the most. So group number 2, that is the reading that I received for you. I truly hope that you enjoyed it, and I hope that you found it insightful, and I will see you in my next reading. Hello, group number 3, and welcome to your reading. So you chose the Howlite. Group number 3, first and foremost, let's look at this beautiful marble style stone. That is what I think about whenever I see a Howlite. I think of how beautiful and marbly it looks, how simple yet chic and clean. So you may have chosen this stone because of its physical appearance, but another reason why you may have chosen this stone sort of subconsciously and instinctively, maybe because the Howlite is said to soothe communication as well as allow to calm and relax your mind, your body, and your spirit. This stone is said to help teach you patience and eliminate any sort of rage or pain that comes with rage. So if you feel like communication has not been your strong suit recently, or it's something where you can benefit from a very soothing, calm, and relaxed stone, then that may be why you have chosen this mineral. But let's move further into your reading to figure out exactly what is going on with them and exactly whether they are ready to be committed or not. Okay, group number 3. So in your reading, we have meditation brings answers, we have butterflies and gloom, we have the Two of Swords, we have the Fool, we have Miss Spiderweb, the Little Wolf Girl, the Star, we have the Eight of Wands, we have Little Brother, Little Sister, as well as Compromise. So I'm going to move straight into your reading. So one thing that I see about this person and whether they're ready to settle down and be committed or not is in the Two of Swords that they're kind of like torn, and that they know that they need to start deciding where they want to go and whether they want to settle down or not. So this person may be at a situation in their life where they have sort of their life in alignment, they have things set, and now they need to decide what they're going to be doing with their relationships. But I see that it is a decision that they have not made yet. It is a decision that they're struggling with and that they have to make intuitively. So I want you to see this as a situation where you don't have as much control, where it really lies more with the other person. And what you have to do is just sort of allow things to play out. And in the Star, I want you to take hope out of this situation. I want you to see the Star as a little glimmer of hope that if it's out of your control, that means that if it's meant to be, it will be. And if it wasn't meant to be, then it won't. And there will be something better coming your way and better coming along. And the Star in correlation to this person, the Star in correlation to the situation, definitely sort of gives this vibe of the fact that things are going to turn out for the better for each and every person involved in this situation, and that things may need sort of like a fresh start and a fresh outlook. That is one thing that I see in the Fool, and that is one thing that I want to communicate with you, group number 3, that as I mentioned, just sort of tell yourself it's either for the good of it all or not at all. So go into this in a very unbiased way. See this question as to whether they're ready for commitment or not. See it with fresh eyes, and don't tell yourself that you need to have one specific outcome, otherwise you will be unfulfilled or unsatisfied or unhappy. So be creative when it comes to this emotionally, because you don't want this to take over. And in the Howlite, one thing that I see is that relaxing, being calm, allowing yourself to be patient when getting answers to this situation is something that may be difficult for you right now. And I totally get it. It's never easy to do so, but know that meditation is something that will bring answers. Meditation will bring you a lot of answers, and if the person you're inquiring about meditates, then that will help them easier make their mind up about whether they're ready to be committed or not. As the Eight of Wands did show up in your reading, I want to let you know that meditation doesn't need to be the old-fashioned way of meditation where you sit down and you just sort of try and get tranquility and silence and be in the moment. Meditation can also be being in a flow state while, for instance, writing, while, for instance, doing some sort of activity that channels that state where you forget about everything around you and you're just in the moment doing whatever it is that you're doing. So do you know the feeling that I mean that you should be channeling? That is how you can meditate, and that is how you can allow yourself to detach emotionally from the outcomes. And that is what I want to talk to you about, group number 3. I want you to emotionally detach from any specific outcome, because as I said, this decision is in their hands, not so much in yours. You know what you want, and I see that you're also willing to compromise. Compromise is something that has showed up in your reading, which just shows that this is a healthy situation where you would be willing to compromise and they are willing to compromise. But at the same time, don't get attached to a certain outcome, because if that outcome does not happen because everything is sort of in their hands and in their decision, then I don't want you to feel down and out about it. I don't want you to feel like the butterflies in gloom. I want you to keep in mind that within the butterflies in gloom, there is the saying that after sadness, happiness and hope return. That is exactly what this stands for. So I definitely feel like you're the kind of person who, when they're sad and when they're down, it's like you're really down, okay? So you don't let things get you down very easily. You're a strong person, but when they do get you down, like, you are at a low. And that is one thing that I want you to be able to avoid, group number 3. That is one thing that I want you to know in the Little Wolf Girl, that it's okay to be alone. And that is exactly why this card showed up in your reading. It's okay for you to be by yourself. It's okay for you to not be in this relationship or any other relationship for a little while, or however long that it takes before you actually get into a situation that is healthy and beneficial to you, as well as the person that you're thinking of getting into this relationship with. So know that a healthy relationship is better than just any old relationship, and Miss Spiderweb is here to let you know, to sort of reinforce that into you, that you may have to reconsider your connections. You may have to reconsider what you want and who you want in your life. So if you feel the slightest bit of discomfort, or like something isn't right or isn't healthy, then it probably is not. And I want you to nurture yourself just like you would a little brother or a little sister. I want you to be responsible and to be protective over yourself and your emotions as you would, say, a younger sibling, or for instance, a pet. So that is a feeling that, for instance, I experience really strongly with my animals. I'm super protective. I always want to make the best choices for them and be very responsible when it comes to their well-being, also emotionally. And I want you to not just apply that to other people and other living beings. You have to apply that to yourself as well. So group number 3, this is what I see in your reading, that it's more or less up to the other person, since you know what you want. But what is really important for you within this situation of whether they are ready to commit or not is how you treat yourself, and if you're ready for any sort of possible outcome. Because as I said, they're going to make this decision intuitively, and some people are good with their intuition, and some people know what they want intuitively but then still go for what they think they should be doing. So if their ideal is to not be in a committed relationship, then they may decide against it. But either way, please be responsible with yourself and your emotions. Don't allow yourself to delve too deeply into becoming attached to a certain outcome, because I definitely feel like in the Fool, this person may be inexperienced with making these types of decisions and may end up making any sort of decision. So I see that they're very unpredictable. And group number 3, I truly want you to be prepared for any possible outcome. I want you to be happy and good in any possible outcome, and to not feel lesser than, and to not feel like your self-confidence has been knocked. So group number 3, I hope that you found this reading insightful as well as helpful, maybe even motivational and inspirational, and I will see you in my next reading. Hello group number 4, and welcome to your reading. So you chose the blue quartz. So group number 4, let's first and foremost have a little bit of a close-up look of this beautiful mineral. So you may have chosen the blue quartz for its appearance. Maybe blue is a color that you love, that you find soothing, but you may have also chosen this stone because subconsciously you know that this stone is one that will allow you to soothe yourself internally, as well as increase diplomacy, self-discipline. That may be something that you're lacking, or that you feel like you need a lot more of right now. Group number 4, this stone is said to have a very soothing and calming sort of vibration, and to help you be at peace with yourself as well as the situations going on in your life. So as I said, that may be a reason why you chose this stone, but let's move further into your reading to figure out exactly what is going on with them and exactly whether they're able to be committed or not. Okay, so group number 4, within your reading, we have remain positive, we have the 4 of Pentacles, we have the 4 of Wands, we have the World, we have the 2 of Pentacles, abundance, time to say goodbye, the Snake Princess, the Deep Dark Sea Mermaid, as well as Quetzalcoatl and the Priestess of Time. So I'm going to move straight into your reading so we can get some answers on whether they're ready to commit and whether they're ready to be in a relationship. So one thing that I see that is essential to this person is having a good time and partying. So group number 4, they may have not shown you this side, or you may sort of have had this feeling that, oh, maybe partying and going out is important to this person, but I just want to confirm that that is something that they like. They like to socialize, they like to go out, like I said, have a good time, and they don't mind being the center of attention. So I definitely see that whether they are ready to commit and be in a relationship or not is a very fine balancing act that may even require a little bit of strength out of them and a little bit of dedication that they may not necessarily want to invest, especially if it's the wrong person. Because one thing that I see is that right now this person is having a good time, okay? The world is at their feet. They feel complete as they are right now, which is actually a really healthy way to enter a relationship, because you never want to be in a relationship with somebody who feels unfulfilled or with somebody who feels like they're not good enough, because that is slowly but surely going to reflect within the relationship. That is going to have an effect on you, that person, and as I mentioned, the relationship. So know that if this person decides to commit, if this person says that they want to be together, it is really serious, and it's really sort of like a forever thing that they have thought through very thoroughly. So one thing that I see that may be holding them back, or one thing that they may have to get over first before they can truly commit, is in the Four of Pentacles, sort of this little bit of a like stingy streak. So if this person secretly doesn't like paying, and what I mean with secretly is the fact that maybe you've gone out with this person and they have paid for things, but you can sense, you can feel that they don't like to. And I know this is something that can feel really uncomfortable, but let's be honest with ourselves. A lot of people are like that. A lot of people will take you out and will take over the bill, but you can sort of sense how the mood all of a sudden changes as soon as they do that. So that is one thing that they need to get over. That is one of their fears, how being committed all of a sudden means less financial or earthly abundance to them. It could also mean them having less time, and that could be something that they're really struggling with that really freaks them out. And in abundance, that is a point of contention that I see. That is one thing that sort of worries them and that may keep them from wanting to commit. So make sure that if you're truly interested in this person, that you make it very clear that you're somebody who can take care of themselves and who doesn't basically need an emotional or financial crutch. You don't need somebody to take care of you. And if you are in a situation where you're not completely independent, I want you to be honest about it so that they don't sort of feel nervous as to, oh, is this person ready to be together or are they not ready? Because if they want somebody who can take care of themselves and they're uncomfortable helping with bills, or they're uncomfortable sort of helping you out a little more in the earthly realms, then it's probably best to just make the situation very clear before things get further into emotional sort of attachment, because that is going to be a painful situation if it ends up not working out just because of that. So I just want you to be aware of this situation, group number 4. I want you to be aware of the vibes that I'm getting here. And the fact that, you have to remain positive. So of course, I'm letting you know all of the things that may go wrong, all of the things that you should look out for, the signs, the red flags. And I don't want you to feel like you should put a damper on this situation. As I said, remain positive and keep in mind in the Four of Wands that they're one who likes to celebrate. They're one who likes to come up with new, cool ways to spend their time and to just sort of always be adventuring, always be traveling, always be seeing and doing new things. That is something that makes them happy. So stay positive and know that you can find a solution to any situation, even this situation. So as I said, things in the earthly realms may be making them a little bit uncomfortable, but in the deep dark sea mermaid, I see that in darkness is where you can find the solution. So basically in the worst moment with this relationship or this sort of connection to this person is where you will know exactly whether it's worth fighting for or not, and whether it's worth talking about or not. So know that when you come to that situation where you feel like you're in front of a wall and you feel like you're not really sure how to move forward, that is when things will truly reveal themselves and their true colors. So in the Snake Princess, I want you to know that with this person, they can be very giving, they can be very loving and caring, but it has to be the right person. So whether they feel like you're the right one or not will reveal in those dark moments. It will reveal themselves when you feel lonely, when you feel like you don't know what's going on, and how they react to that will show whether they are in fact a serpentine or whether they are, you know, somebody who wants to be there and wants to form a relationship. So with serpentine, you know, no shade against snakes, but I think it's very important to be honest with yourself that snakes usually don't have friends, so to say. Even if you have a pet snake, there are a lot of people who can confirm that snakes do not form that sort of close relationship, that close knitted bond as say a dog or a cat would, for instance. So keep that in mind and know that this person has a tendency to be able to be a snake. So no shade against this person, but I just want to keep it honest with you, group number 4. So in a time to say goodbye, I want you to know that if that is a vibe that you're getting, if you get this vibe that, okay, this person doesn't really want to commit, this person is just happy with partying, with being by themselves, with having all the time and the money to themselves without sharing, then know that it is a time to say goodbye for now. Know that that means that for now, it's not for you. You should move on, because in the Quetzalcoatl and the Priestess of Time, I want you to know that you have to act now. Okay, the time has come. You've wasted enough time on this situation. So whether you feel like it's been a lot of time or little time, what I see is that the universe is communicating with you that you have to act and you have to make that decision now. Whether you go, whether you stay, that is what is in your power. And I want you to know that any sort of feelings of them not putting you first and them not prioritizing this relationship, if you feel like they're clinging on too much to their single life, to what they already know, then maybe just end it for now. Maybe just give it space for now, because what I see is that you need commitment. What I see is that you want the world, you want celebration, you want to share your life and everything that is in your life with somebody else. And not everybody is ready for that. A lot of people, especially when they start to do well in the earthly realms or financially, or just things are good in their life, they want to make sure that they don't risk sabotaging it by bringing somebody else into the picture. Group number 4, I hope that this reading inspired you to take action, as well as to see the situation from a different light and to see the situation from a viewpoint where you're putting yourself and your needs first. So I hope that you enjoyed the reading, and I hope that you found it insightful, maybe even a little inspirational and motivational, and I will see you in my next reading.